All right, so first I want to just do a little bit of an introduction of me, and I want to talk a little bit about how today's going to work. So my name is Cliff. I'm the career liaison to psychology majors. Many of you have probably received my emails, whether it be promoting today's event or an email today that reminded you that today was the event. So here's me, a name to the face, I would say. I am the, like I said, career liaison to psychology majors. I've worked with some of you guys in the past because some of your names do look familiar. My role, again, is specifically to work with you guys in the career counseling capacity. I was an undergraduate student in the psychology program at Brooklyn College 2 years ago. I am a current graduate student in the industrial organizational psychology program. My interest is human resources, specifically recruitment, where I've had a little bit of experience working in the HR field, doing some recruitment and working on the internship program of SiriusXM Pandora, for those of you that may be familiar with that. Today, I just really want to talk about the services that are available to all of you, as well as the things that you can use to take advantage of. And then also time for you to really just ask questions for me to answer. So the first thing that I want to do is really just start off with a brief video. It's really just about preparing for your career.
So, Gabriel, this is your first time coming to the Magner Center?
Yeah,
What's your major?
undecided.
Okay. Undecided. Well, what would you like to be when you grow up?
I don't know.
Okay. Have you taken the Color Q personality assessment test?
I like color.
Okay. So let's find out what colors you are. These colors are going to help you find out what your personality style is, so you'll know exactly what career you enjoy. Here's the test. Okay. Here's the book.
I hate reading.
That's a problem, because if you hate reading, you'll never find a job.
I green and gold.
Green and gold? That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Take a look at the book. Whoa. Looks like you're career ready.
Come to my center.
So that's just like a little cute video that we put together with one of our counselors. Her name is Paula. Some of you may have met with her before. I think it's really cute, and it helps show like kind of a joke of us saying it's never too early to start to plan for your career. What I also like to say for those that may be like juniors and seniors in the group, it's also never too late to start to plan for your career as well. So if you like that video, later on, we talk a little bit about following us on social media and our YouTube channel. You could check out the rest of the series that we did with some of our counselors' children and other counselors in the video. It's really cute and just shows our services that we have available. We are going to go more into detail of our services, but the one here that is highlighted is the Color Q personality assessment. So really the idea is for those of you that may be interested in a particular career, but you're not 100% sure if that's what you want to go into, or you're still exploring careers, it's a really great personality test that's super, super quick and gives you some insights into your natural work-related strengths, the types of bosses that you'd work with, types of organizations that you may actually not want to work with, along with different types of career suggestions that may work best for you. So that is one example. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about and probably push the importance of interning, one of the things that we really recommend at the center. So what we have here is just some statistics that have to do with interning. So someone asked if the personality test can really explain the best branch of psych that fits you. I would say the answer would be yes, in terms of it is general buckets. So it's not going to be specifically, here are all the psych careers that would fit you, but it may say something like, you seem the best fit in the helping profession. And then that might mean you can go into maybe social work, or you might go into mental health. So that's the idea of the test. It would be more buckets. And then we can always sit down, and I'll talk later about making an appointment to go over really the fields of psych that you might want to focus on. So that's a really great question. To the whole statistics that we have listed, we like to show the information about the importance of really looking into getting an internship. So the idea behind this is that 48% of students land their first internship before their junior year. So really what we're saying is the sooner that you land an internship and the sooner that you really start to prepare for a career after graduation, the more likely your success is going to be. So something that we see, which you probably would guess, the people that really put the most into their career generally yield the best results, right? It makes sense. 73% of companies hire interns to find full-time employees. So really what we're trying to say here is that there are a lot of companies that like to look at their intern pool for hires. I think also that statistic really makes sense in the way of you have interns that are doing really great jobs. You don't really have to spend the money on recruiting new interns, selecting interns, and training interns, right? You have a great talent pool that's there. They've already proven themselves. And a lot of times, because they've had the experience in the organization, there isn't as much that has to go on in the training. They're ready to hit the ground running. And then the last statistic that we have is that employers really like to see internships. So students who complete 2 or more internships are generally twice as likely to land a job. And the real importance of that is just saying that you are saying on your resume when you have 2 internships that you have experience in the field and you're ready to start working directly with the organization in your field of interest. Again, something that I do want to emphasize, which I had said earlier on the call, is that if you are in a category where maybe you're a senior, I don't stress too much about I need 2 internships, or I'm not going to find a job in the field that I'm most interested in. The most important point is really taking advantage of the services and creating an action plan with me or other counselors to get started and get your career going. Something that I also want to note, and I did not mention this earlier, is that on the bottom of the slides, I have my contact info and our office phone number. It's on almost every slide. So if there's ever a question that you have, feel free to give us a call or email me. There is a larger slide with contact information as well. So if you aren't able to jot it down right now, don't worry about it. Odds are you also have my email already because of the reminder that you received today for today's event. Cool. So the next thing that we talk about are skills that employers look for in an organization. So we have 10 skills here. You have problem solving, ability to work in a team, work ethic, analytical, quantitative, written communication, leadership, verbal communication, initiative, detail-oriented, and then technical. So the main point of this slide that I want to emphasize is if you take a look at these skills that employers look for, the first 9 skills are skills that you could pick up generally anywhere. And what I mean by that, these are skills that you may be already picking up in your coursework. You problem solve when you're in a group probably. You take on leadership when you're in a group. You are able to work in a team in group projects. Your work ethic is the studying that you do and the grades that you receive in your courses. Your analytical and quantitative skills, that's being able to take things and break things down, which you probably do in your coursework. You write for your courses, you communicate for your courses. Generally, I'm sure you also take initiative. That's something that you could, if you don't already do, work on in your group projects, right? And then being detail oriented is another skill that employers really look for. And these are skills, like I had mentioned before, that you can really pick up anywhere. It's not until the 10th thing on this list that is the technical skills, the skills that you would really pick up in a job or a position that is directly related to the field. So the main purpose of this is that a lot of times students think, well, I can't apply to this position because I don't have the skills that are required. But what we see is that according to NACE in 2020, and in a job outlook survey, employers said that they don't really care so much for those technical skills. A lot of times employers are willing to teach those types of skills as long as you have the other soft skills, we call them, which is really skills 1 to 9, and your willingness to learn the technical skills. So now I just want to go a little bit over the programs and services that we offer in a video, and then I'm going to get a little bit more detailed into it in the next slide.
Hi, how can I help you? For the first time? You've never been here before?
Hi, my name is Toby.
Hi, my name is Shizoda.
My name is Jordan Tahir, and I'm a second-term freshman here at Brooklyn College.
I am a senior here at Brooklyn College.
As a transfer student, I was nervous attending events by the Magner Career Center because I didn't know anyone.
I didn't have job experience. I didn't really know what an internship was. I never had done a cover letter or a resume.
I knew I wanted to study philosophy, but I didn't know how would I apply that to a career.
By meeting with a counselor, I was given advice on how to better interact with employers.
Attending the workshop, How to Explore Careers, was an important role in helping me with landing internships because I was able to speak to people who were doing the same exact things as me.
I applied to the Magner Center's internship stipend for the spring 18 semester. I won the award, and it helped me pay for expenses associated with the internship.
This summer, I'll be going to JP Morgan, and it just would not be possible without the support and advice I got from the Magner Center.
I would say number 1, you have to take chance, take risk, and learn. Number 2, everyone in this room, networking. Networking.
If you intern and all they have you doing is making copies and getting coffee, you're wasting your time. You're there to learn, and the companies are there to teach you.
If you can't convey why you really want to work there, I mean, as a hiring manager, I want someone who wants to work for me. I don't want someone who just wants a job. I want someone who has done their research and is like, this is my dream job.
Go to the career services office and get your resume looked at. Right now it's free. When you're a professional, you don't have those opportunities unless you're an alum. Occasionally you can come back, but like, get it looked at now.
So what I generally like to state about this video is that, one, it's one of my favorite videos, and that's because it really gives a great overview of everything that we have to offer. And I also really love this video because it helps show the students that have taken advantage of the center and the things that they've been able to accomplish with the help of using the Career Center. Also watching this video, for those that may be on this call, I just want to say I miss the Student Center. I miss events that are in person and not like this. I miss our office, so it also shows some stuff that you forget exists. So that's just a little background. So The next slide, I want to talk a little bit about our programs and services. So basically a closer look of everything that you've seen on the video. So the first thing that a lot of you had asked about, and I think I got a message about before, is our jobs and internships and looking for employment. So Brooklyn College has a job and internship board called Hire BC. It's accessible on your BC Web Central under the Career tab. So for everything that is career related, majority of the stuff is on BC Web Central under the Career tab. So Hire BC, like I said, is one of those things. And it's a huge job and internship board where employers reach out directly to Brooklyn College to recruit Brooklyn College students. And there's a really great benefit about that. And that is Brooklyn College, the enrollment is about 17,000 students. So that may sound like a lot. And the idea is every Brooklyn College student has access to this online job and internship board. Even if all 17,000 students were using this, it is still a much smaller applicant pool than using something like LinkedIn or another job board that you find online. And the reason for that is when you think about it, anybody with access to an internet can use any of these other online job boards. Whereas something like Hire BC, it's a job board that's restricted just for Brooklyn College students, which gives you a much better chance at standing out in terms of the applicant pool. The other thing is, a lot of the employers that post on Hire BC are posting because they are looking for Brooklyn College student talent. This might be because they were alums of Brooklyn College and they want to give back. The other reason is maybe they've had really great experiences with other Brooklyn College students that they've hired, and they know Brooklyn College has really great talent and they want to continue to source that talent and take advantage of where they know has great students. So that's the job and internships on Hire BC. I do want to skip around a little bit to the next bullet because it still goes into the whole jobs and internships idea. So there is a job and internship fair, and that is another opportunity to meet employers and get hired. The job and internship fair is hosted each semester. There's going to be a little bit more information in the slides that are coming, but this year it's going to be on October 16th, which is a Friday, so about 2 weeks-ish away from now. And the idea is that you will be able to meet recruiters from a virtual format. So normally our job and internship fairs are in person, you meet recruiters in person. Circumstances, of course, it will be a virtual event. So the idea is these recruiters are coming or logging in to hire and search for talented individuals, talented students. So a lot of these employers have worked with Brooklyn College in the past or just looking to recruit that talent. So that's another really great opportunity to find jobs and internships. Like I said, that was the job and internship fair point that I just wanted to talk about because it relates to the job and internship opportunities job board. The next thing that we offer that I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about are kind of like a bucket of workshops and ways to meet recruiters and also connect with the staff. So you are attending a workshop today. So one, I'm really happy that you guys are here. It's really important for you to learn about your career services, but it shows that you also seem to know how to register for additional workshops. In case you did not register for the workshop on your own, I want to just talk a little bit about how you could see that and how you can check out other workshops that are scheduled. So on Web Central again, in the career section, there is a career workshop tab. You could see all the workshops that are coming up for the rest of the semester, and we tend to add workshops as things pop up as well. So some of these things on my list are a little bit more in-person related, but also things that we have adapted to a digital platform. So unfortunately, mentor luncheons and networking nights are definitely a lot different now, right? But the general idea we're still continuing to do. So mentor luncheons and networking nights are ways for you to connect with alum in a field of interest and really be able to gain insights into the career field. So if you, for those that are interested in psych, which I think it's almost all of you on the call, if not all of you, there are events that we plan where we have alumni of Brooklyn College come in to speak. So an example of that is I was doing a few career chats. Some of you, I think, may have even been in attendance. So the career chats were alum coming in and talking about their field of psychology. So that's the way that it's been adapted in the digital platform. When we are on campus, the way that it works is alum come to Brooklyn College, and at Luncheons, you sit at a table and you have lunch with a Brooklyn College alum where you can ask them questions and really get your answers directly from the source. That's the idea of that. Networking nights are very similar, but just a little bit different. And the whole idea of a networking night is that you, instead of sitting down at a table, you get to mingle with alum and walk around. So that's the idea of that. Unfortunately, right now with the circumstances, that's not something that can be done. But like I said, it's been adapted. Then we have our career conferences, panels, visits, and workshops. So that is something that has mostly been adapted to our online platform. Again, you are in a workshop right now. What we generally differentiate workshops a lot of times have to do with our internal staff, and then panels would be more external people. So some of you may have been on the panel that we had hosted a few weeks ago with recruiters insights. So we had recruiters come in and discuss with the group those types of insights into getting hired, especially right now during the coronavirus times. We have career conferences. These are more all-day events. You had probably seen it in the video that I showed, but the general idea of career conferences is that it's kind of like a one day dedicated to a lot of times career development, has a lot of key workshops along with panels and guest speakers that come in. And then we have company visits, again, something that unfortunately is not in its entirety. And that generally what we do is take Brooklyn College students to visit an organization that they'd be interested in working for, and you really get to tour the facilities and all of that. So an example for that is that as I had mentioned earlier, I had interned with SiriusXM, Pandora, and I set up a company visit for Brooklyn College students to tour the SiriusXM office. So that's the idea of that. Some companies are starting to look towards doing some virtual company visits. I think that's something we'll stay tuned. And if there are any that come up and we are invited to, we will email that out to our students, letting them know. The next service is career coaching and career assessments. So the career assessments is that color cue that I had briefly mentioned earlier. It's a really quick assessment, like I had said, and you get your colors, and you are also able to understand fields that you work best in, types of jobs that you might want to look at. Again, that's going to be bucket based. So if you are interested in taking the career assessment, I would recommend to reach out to make an appointment. So you take the assessment on your own, and then myself or another career counselor can review it with you. And then career coaching goes hand in hand with the career assessments. So a lot of times the general idea is we sit down one-on-one, virtually of course, and we talk about your career goals, or if you're not entirely sure, we talk about the different careers that you may be able to go into with a degree in psych or that may interest you. And then we kind of create action plans together to see how we could get to that field. So that's the idea of the career assessment. The next thing that I have is resume and cover letter critique. And that's generally the idea. Your resume and cover letter are your marketing tools, right? The resume and cover letter is something that is seen before you even have an interview, before the recruiter meets you in person or virtually. So the resume cover letter feedback is us really sitting down together and going over those documents, making them stronger and ensuring that you have the best possible document so that you do get that call for an interview. Moving into mock interviews, it's just like it sounds. We do practice interviews with you. So great, you got past the resume cover letter type of situation, but now it's time to really practice your interviewing skills and make sure that you portray yourself in the best possible way. A lot of times, for those that are on this call, you may have encountered a question like, tell me about yourself. And that is meant to be a really easy interview question, but it actually tends to be one of the hardest interview questions. So the idea would be we sit down and talk about different types of interview questions and how we can answer them best. I'm gonna skip job and internship fair because I talked about that before. The next thing that I want to talk about is stipend awards. So everybody on this call that is not graduating this December, I want you guys to apply for this, and I'm going to explain it. A stipend award is a way of the Career Center paying you to do an unpaid internship or volunteer work or course requirements. As long as you meet the idea that you're getting experience in your field of interest, you would be eligible for the stipend, along with some other eligibility requirements. Now, I'm going to send a follow-up email after today's session, and there will be the application and additional details on the stipend, where you can see the qualifications and the requirements for it. But again, the general idea is that you're getting paid to do a type of unpaid work. I would love for everybody on this call to apply for this. And the reason why is because, one, we understand that it is not feasible to do unpaid work. It's not really something that a lot of people can afford. And if we're saying in the very beginning of the session that it's very important to get this relevant experience in the field for various reasons, like just getting that experience on your resume, and also making sure that this is the type of career that you really want to go into. It would really be terrible if you started to go into the field without really trialing it or taking a test run and now absolutely not liking the field that you're in. So the stipend gets you paid to do that. The way that it works is you always apply one semester behind. So this might get a little confusing, so please ask questions if it does. And the first thing is your eligibility would be you cannot be graduating in December because the stipend would be applied for the spring semester. So if you're interested in working as in an unpaid type of role for the spring of 2021, you will have to apply by the end of October. So the spring semester intern stipend is applied in the fall. And if you're interested in interning in the summer of 2021 or the fall of 2021, that deadline is usually in March. So if you're interested in interning in the summer/fall, the deadline is usually in the spring. So like I said, it's a semester before. And then the last thing that is something that exists is pre-law career advisement. It may not interest everyone on this call, but I do know that there are psychology majors that a lot of times like to apply law into the field. So just to be aware that if you are interested in going into law, maybe going to law school, there is a specific career advisor that can really help guide you with like the LSAT and any other application material along those lines. So this is actually one of my favorite slides because it's so colorful and has a lot of stuff that's going on. And the main purpose of this slide is I like to show the alumni that are involved with Brooklyn College. So odds are those of you on this call, you probably do not have a rich mom or dad that is going to hand you a job the second that you walk off of the Brooklyn College graduation stage, or however it may be, right? Unfortunately, that's the matter of the fact. That's Brooklyn College students. But we know that, and Brooklyn College alumni know that, and they want to give back to Brooklyn College. Brooklyn College alumni really get involved in so many different ways from organizations all over. So Brooklyn College alum give back by mentoring students. They give back by sitting on career panels. They give back by recruiting students. They give back by donating, which goes into that stipend fund. And then we are able to pay Brooklyn College students for doing unpaid work. So when I did a LinkedIn search of Brooklyn College alumni, I saw that there are actually over 6,000 alumni from the psychology program. And what I did was I took all of their logos, many of which you probably recognize, maybe many are on your phone as apps or anything like that, just to show the different places that our psychology majors have gone. All right, the next thing, again, Unfortunately, it's not happening right now, but we always like to highlight our company visits program. It makes us kind of unique compared to other colleges. We have taken students to different organizations on company visits. So I'm sure a lot of you have know these brands as well. Google, we've gone to. Again, SiriusXM, we've gone to. New York Methodist, for those that may be interested in the health type of field. Penguin Random House, which is a publishing company. I'm not going to read them all to you, but that's the idea of company visits. I'm hoping that things really return to normal, hopefully soon, so we can continue with these great programs that we offer. But like I said, as companies are starting to consider how they want to do business moving forward, in terms of maybe virtual company visits, we will notify you guys as we hear about those. It's probably not the same, but I think it is still a great way to see what's going on. This might be a slide that you want to screenshot or just quickly jot down. It's kind of like a hot links slide and the top links that I would recommend to take a look at. So this is access to our virtual services and events. So currently, as you guys know, we are operating remotely. So our main section of where you could find all of that information is at this Google Doc. It's tinyurl.com/MCC virtual services. So it has info about how to make an appointment, which we're going to go over, but it's always a good place to look at. If there's anything that we're changing. So we are adjusting and trying to make sure that students are being catered to in the best way. So if we're adding something, we'll add it there, things like that. Like I said before, a lot of info lives in Brooklyn College Web Central, which is also referred to as portal.brooklyn.cuny.edu in the career section. So there's handouts there. There is information like our resume guide there, which I will send in another email, so don't worry about that. There is information, like I said, about accessing Hire BC and other things that is definitely worth exploring there. And then the full information, and which really allows you to access any of these links, is the career.brooklyn.cuny.edu. It's just the Magner Center page on the main Brooklyn College website. There is a yellow box, and I think it's titled something like the Magner Center operating during COVID, something along those lines. So that is the place that you want to take a look at if you ever need to see things that are relevant to this time. But there is other information all over that site, like I had mentioned, about all of the services that I explained a few slides ago. Now, this is more specific to me and to psych majors. So here are some other links that I think are pretty important. So again, here's my email, clifford.frontera@brooklyn.cuny.edu. What I would say is we do have a general email as well, which I think is listed, but feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you may have, and I can always direct it to the correct person. So that's my email. I'm going to skip this for a second because we're going to explore this a little bit together. For those that may want to make an appointment and sit down and talk with me further, either about resume, cover letter, mock interviews, career counseling, anything else that is relevant to career development and all that, you can go directly to this link, tinyurl.com/schedule Magner appointment. And it's a Google form, and Rachel, our full-time front desk member, will work with you on making an appointment. This is very specific to psych majors. So I just want to quickly go over it. What I also want to say is I would love for you guys to take some time to explore it. So there's a career newsletter that we created. And again, it is a newsletter just for psych majors. So the psych newsletter was basically designed to keep you all updated on events, resources, jobs, and internships without constantly sending you a ton of emails. So I don't know if you all experienced this in the same way, but when coronavirus had first started, we were getting so many emails every single day, and I think it was really becoming overwhelming. So you're getting emails, you're getting texts, you're getting Slack notifications for those that may use something like that. So the purpose of this newsletter is to reduce the amount of emails sent out, but that does not mean that there aren't jobs, internships that are always being sent over to me and to our office in general. So for those that are very specific to psychology, it gets added to my newsletter. So I want you guys to explore this in its entirety, but I want to focus just to chat a little bit about these two tabs up here, the resources in jobs and internships tab and the events and info sessions tab. So on this newsletter, I have the most important items linked. So I want, again, to explore a little bit of this that is here, but I want to highlight the things that I would spend the most time taking a look at. So I have a resources Google spreadsheet, which really is just, I think, very helpful for exploring careers in psychology, to see everything that exists by differentiation of tabs, along with understanding that there are professional organizations and ways to really expand and excel in your career. So some of these things on the general tab are general to psych majors. Two of these things are not fully general to psych majors, but sites that we always recommend. It's called My Next Move and ONET Online, but everything else here is psychology specific. I link the psychology club. I'm not sure. I think some of you may be actually members or on the e-board of the psych club. The psych club is a really great organization to join. If there are any members of the psych club on the call, if you guys would like, feel free to drop your contact into the chat. If you guys are not on the call, you should be able to check out the psych club listing right here and see the additional info. And if there is nothing listed there, feel free to reach out to me and I can always get you a contact over there. So I've worked with the psych club in the past and they're really fantastic to work with. They do professional development events, career panels, like I think they have had writing workshops. So a great club to take advantage of, and they are operating virtually. So that's just a FYI and a plug for their club. I also listed, although not super career specific, scholarships, because money is great and it's great to have scholarships that can help you finance your academic side of your time at Brooklyn College. And then, like I said, this gets super in detail, where we have counseling tabs and differentiations of that. I don't want to really overwhelm everyone on this call because there's so much that I could really go into about this. So I'm not going to overwhelm you. I'm just going to suggest explore this, and then we can always sit down together to discuss the different careers you can potentially go into. So there's all of these tabs. And then I also have an other tab, which there's a lot of info here. And what I would suggest for this tab, it's kind of things that psych majors go into, but it may be a little bit less common. So the common ones are the ones that have their very specific, and the less common are the ones that plenty of people go into, but it's not as common, I've noticed. You could continue to explore this page. I even had found a TikTok. I don't know if some of you guys have gotten on that whole TikTok trend. I know I did because of quarantine. So you could take a look at that and other videos that are relevant. And then another really important tab that I would take a look at is the psychology job and internship list. So the idea of this tab is that jobs and internships that always hire revolving in terms of deadlines are always changing, or they're always looking to hire students. They are listed on this spreadsheet as well. I would suggest to take a look at the intro to the list to fully understand what is listed here. Other info I would encourage you to look at is the weekly careers list that comes from CUNY as a whole. So it's not psych specific, but it's resources, jobs, internships, events, a lot of information that they send out weekly that are things you could potentially take advantage of. And then I have a rotating job and internship board. So the list is a lot of times jobs, internships that always hire, versus this rotating board is maybe like one-offs or organizations that are looking to hire. So for example, I know UPS doesn't hire all the time for HR interns, so I posted it on this section. Again, there's so much more that is on this site, but I don't want to overwhelm you all, so I would highly encourage to just further explore. The other tab just to take a look at is the event info session tab. So here are site-specific events that you might want to take a look at. They may be organized by the Career Center, they may be organized outside of the Career Center, but there's stuff listed here as well. Like I had mentioned, I would highly recommend to give us a follow on social media, join our LinkedIn group, and our LinkedIn group is a professional networking group that we generally will have alum that post jobs, or if there's opportunities that are available, we post it there, along with ways that you can join discussions and questions that you may have. So there's that. You can connect with us. And the first thing that I recommend is log into HireBC, which is that job and internship board that I talked about earlier. And what I want you to do is check and make sure the email that we have is the email that you regularly check. And the reason for that is because that is our primary method of communicating with you guys, and HireBC serves as also an email messaging system. So many of you probably got the email from me about the Career 101, which is why you registered. But for those that may not be getting any emails from me, I want you to check HireBC under the profile section and see what email we have listed. If you are still unable to get, if you are not getting my emails and you've checked and it's not working, send me an email and I can always see what is in the system. For those that went to Brooklyn College when we were still on campus, you may recall using your phone. There's an app on your phone that you can use for your ID. In that same app, in the BC Navigator app, we have a career tracker that you could take a look at and see. It helps you kind of create an action plan and things that you could just kind of play around with and see what you'd like to use. You could contact us. Again, this is the general email that's listed, but you could always contact me as well. And you could always give us a call. If you give us a call and there is no response, feel free to leave a message and someone will always call you back.
Make sure to check out the My Career tab on the BC Navigator app, where you can track your career progress based on the amount of credits you've earned, stay updated on upcoming events from the Magner Center, and watch our videos for insight and advice on your career field.